What's good, y'all? I already know where y'all at. It's your boy Star Jones, and it's a new episode of Star Views. It's about to start right now. So please, I hope you got your hookah ready, and I hope you got your cups full of whatever ready, because I got a lot to talk about, alright? Know what's going on. Star Jones, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Please and thanks, you heard? What's good, folks? It's your man Star Jones, and I'm back with another episode of Star Views. This also brings me a lot of excitement, like most of the movies do that I review. We're going to be talking about the reboot of Mortal Kombat. And for those who didn't know, who's been living under a rock, who didn't see my Chop It Up episode, Mortal Kombat came out in 1995, not too long after the release of the video game, and people was, really excited and looking forward to seeing the film back then. And then, it was positively received. A lot of people rocked with it. I myself rocked with it at the time. Since watching it as I got older, revisiting the film, it didn't really age well, I'll be honest. And then they had a sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, that came out in 97. And that was super trash. It's not even worth talking about. It's not even worth, going, diving too deep into that. So moving on. Again, this is the reboot of the 1995 classic. Well, damn, I called it a classic. The 1995 film. We're not going to call it a classic, but again, we're going to get into that tonight. We're going to talk about it. Just a disclaimer, I probably will have spoilers on this episode. I know I make it a point not to spoil things for you guys, but because I'm such a huge fan of the video games, I recently purchased Mortal Kombat 11, maybe a couple months ago, and again, I've been playing the games for some time. So because I'm a fan of the games, my opinion on the film may be based on how it translated from the games and how they use that as source material. So just spoilers ahead, so I don't want to again ruin anything for anyone. So if you're the type like me that don't like spoilers, I suggest you dip off right now and double back once you watch the film. All right, I won't be smoking hookah with you guys tonight because it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon and I will be going outside to smoke hookah. So I appreciate you guys who have your hookah cooked up and ready to go, but I won't be joining you guys tonight. I'm sorry. I know I always have it on deck. But, again, bear with me. I'm going to go get a drink, though. I will drink with you guys. So, let me go grab that, and I'll be back in 2 seconds, all right? Yeah. So, I'm back. I'm going to get straight into it about what this movie, what transpired, how it went about. And, again, I may give you some spoilers, so I will dip off again if you don't want the movie ruined. So pretty much we're introduced to, out the gate, we're introduced to Hanzo, aka Scorpion, and his family. And then we're introduced to Bihan, aka Sub-Zero. So they give us a good, extensive, and very detailed, aka gory, history lesson on why them two have beef and why they've had beef for so long. I know my video game fans out there know exactly how their beef started, but maybe not so much the casual movie watcher. Excuse me. So, yeah, they give us that. And so not too long after we're introduced to Sub-Zero and Scorpion's beef. And fast forwards to the present, we're introduced to Cole Young. And Cole Young, who is that? I know all my video game fans out there like, who the hell is Cole Young? When I first seen him pop up on the screen, I'm like, who is this? Because he has nothing to do with the video games whatsoever. This is a character that was developed for the sake of the movie. So anyway, a little background on Cole Young. Cole Young is a cage fighter. I think Cole Young was once a highly decorated cage fighter, highly respected and appreciated in the cage fighting world within the film. But I guess he's on the decline at this point in his career. And I guess maybe his mind and focus has shifted more so to his family. When we meet his family. And not too long after we're introduced to Cole Young, we meet Jackson Briggs, a.k.a. Jax, a.k.a. the man with the big metal arms. And moments after the introduction, shit goes left. Sub-Zero shows up, and now it's a situation where Cole Young has to make a run for his safety as well as his family's. So pretty much the film centers around Cole Young finding himself and learning about his family's heritage, who he's related to, etc., etc. Typically, like in the video games, typically the game are centered around this tournament where you have Elf Realm, Nether Realm, you have all these other realms fighting in this tournament for power, dominance, etc. over the others. In this case, there was no tournament at all. These are all events that are taking place before the actual tournament. So we have the villain, Shang Tsung, the dude that eats souls, him. And pretty much Cole Young has to fend them off while he tries to learn about himself and prepare for this tournament. So yeah, that's pretty much the movie. It's pretty, like I said, it's us introduced to Cole Young and why he's important to the Mortal Kombat universe in the film, and pretty much his growth. We're also introduced to the other characters like Sonya Blade, and Kano, and a whole bunch of other Elf Realm characters. So yeah, that's the film. That's pretty much the film. Yeah. So when I get back, I'm gonna give you our star rating, and I'm gonna let you know whether or not you guys should see this film, whether or not you should be excited about seeing the film if you haven't already, and probably give you some spoilers. It's hard for me not to really give you spoilers for this one, because again, this movie is based on a video game, and this is a video game I've played for some time, so I pretty much have a good knowledge on the game. So things that happen in the movie and may or may not happen in the movie is gonna definitely impact how I rate the film. So I'll be back in a second. All right. Good job. It's that time of the show where we like to break down the film and give it its rating and let you guys know exactly how I feel about the film. But before I do that, I just want to shout out everybody that participated with my poll on social media. I posed the question of who's going to win once the shakedown commences between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. We have Exhibit A. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on Instagram and how they felt like Scorpion was going to win. Exhibit B. They felt like Sub-Zero was going to win, according to my peoples on Facebook. I told y'all it was going to be spoilers, so yeah, everybody was correct. Everybody was correct. Whether you voted for Sub-Zero or you voted for Scorpion. So now with that said, I'm going to get into the pros and cons of the film really quickly and let you guys know, what was positive and what was negative about it. So I'm going to start with the pros. I think they did an amazing job casting the Asian actors to play these roles, because you have the roles of Liu Kang, Shang Tsung, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, all these characters of Asian descent. So it was cool to see them stay strict to the Mortal Kombat lore and was honest as far as how they casted the characters, the roles of the characters. Because Hollywood tends to whitewash movies oftentimes. So that was a positive. They also stuck to the Mortal Kombat video game feel. As far as making it very bloody and gory. I think that was something that the fans were looking forward to. I know I was, as a fan of the games. It wouldn't be right without it, because in the old film, the one that dropped in '95, it wasn't too much blood and gore. So it was bloody, but it wasn't gory. So that was a little disappointing for the fans. Another pro in the film, they introduced a lot of characters. Not introduced because the fans know who they are, but for the casual fan, the casual movie watcher, they introduced a lot of characters. The Molinas, the Goros, the Cabal. I wasn't expecting Cabal to be in the film. Natara, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Raiden, like the Sonya Blade, the Jax Briggs of the world. So it was cool to see those characters on the big screen. I don't believe a lot of them weren't in the original film, so it was cool to see them. Now, as far as the cons are concerned, Speaking of Melina, Melina is a character in the games, and her origin story comes from her being a clone of a character called Katana. In this film, there was no mention of Katana whatsoever. There was an Easter egg of Katana's fans, the weapon she used, the joints you fan with yourself with when you hot, but they got blades on them. We did see those in the film, but we had no mention of Katana, who she was, where she was, how Melina came about. So that was a little disappointing. I think the origin stories as a whole, it wasn't too much backstory aside from, you know, Scorpion and Sub-Zero's introduction. So that kind of blew minds. As far as how they got their powers, it was like on some Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan shit. Like they had to get angry. You know, they had to go through a lot of traumatic pain or something like that for their powers to flourish. So that kind of threw me for a loop. So, you know, that also was kind of cheesy to me. I just feel like they could have just dove a little bit deeper. I feel like we're at the point with movies where it's okay if the movie is 2.5 hours long. Let's get as much information to the public as possible, especially for the casual fans who don't really know these characters like that. This is their first time meeting them. So I think to give them a better backstory is very, very important. And I think, you know, that's something that they were lacking in the film. Another con, where the hell is Johnny Cage? Johnny Cage is probably my favorite character throughout this entire Mortal Kombat franchise when you talk about the games. In every adaptation we've seen or read Mortal Kombat, whether it be comics, video games, animated movies, Johnny Cage is always present. Doesn't matter where in the timeline, Johnny Cage is present. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the reasons why I can't stand the Annihilation sequel to the 95 movie. It's because they killed Johnny Cage in that movie. So that tells you how much he means to me and why he's deserving to be in this movie. But, spoiler, because I told you I was going to hit you with them, Johnny Cage will be in the sequel, if there's a sequel. If this movie is positively received, I think we could expect him to be in the sequel. So, you know, those are some of the cons of the film. And with that said, I'm going to... Oh, really quickly, because I said I was going to hit you with some spoilers. Another spoiler is Sub-Zero dies. So, notice I did these. So, for those who know who Bihan is, my fans out there, Bihan becomes a new Cybot. So he's another pivotal character in a Mortal Kombat story. So if there is a sequel to come out, we have a lot of things to go off of and build on. So that's another pro for the movie that they did a good job with. But as far as the grade is concerned, I'm gonna give this movie 6.5. 6.5 stars. The reason why I'm giving it 6.5 stars is, like I said, I mentioned the cons, but overall the movie just didn't leave me wanting to see it again. I walked away from the film satisfied, but I wasn't just like, oh my god, this is fire. Like I know a lot of you guys on social media already reached out to me and said that the movie was fire, and I'm sure you guys are gonna be upset with this rating, but you know, look at it as positively as you can and as optimistically as you can. The 6.5 is not that bad. If we compare it to grades in school, a 6.5 is equivalent to a D. You know, if you got a D in school, you passed. You didn't fail. You know, you're not happy with that grade, but you passed. So I think the movie is solid. I don't think the movie is fire at all. I don't crave to watch it again, and that's just how I feel. Like I didn't walk away from the film like, oh my god, I need to see it again. I'm really good with not seeing it ever again. But again, I give it a 6.5 with optimism because, again, we have something to look forward to if we do have a sequel. So, 6.5 stars. Don't be mad at me. With that said, I'm out of here. That's my time. You can look forward to seeing me again next week. Tom Clancy's Without Remorse starring Michael B. Jordan will be coming out. So that's coming out Friday. So you should see me same time, same place. And Star Review should be released next Saturday. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, I'm sorry I didn't smoke no hookah with you guys because I'm about to go outside and enjoy this beautiful weather, as should you. So please enjoy the remainder of your weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Alright? Be good. Oh, y'all still here? Appreciate y'all for sticking around, man, but I don't got no more hookah. But what I do have is more content on my YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't done so already, hit that red button and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified as soon as I post anything. All right? And if you haven't already followed me on social media, here's my information. Make sure y'all follow up. Appreciate it. Y'all still here, man. That's valid. Have a good one.